Good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to the Game Week 17 deadline stream. I'm getting old. My memory's not quite what it was. I can't remember which game week it is. It's Game Week 17. I've got 3 free transfers. I'm probably just going to roll. There are a lot of teams out there that I think look better than mine this week, especially like 3-5-2 setups with like Semenyo, etc. But it is what it is. I'm not going to have the perfect team every single week, and I don't really want to. By the way, how is my volume? Does the volume sound okay, or is it too low? Please let me know. I wonder if I could do a turn up a little bit. I had some problems with my sound yesterday, and so it's annoying me now. Anyway, is it low? Kind of low. Okay, I can fix that. Hang on. It's a bit annoying, this whole... My mic is just so much lower, I think, than it needs to be. Okay, that should be better now. That's back to what it was before. That's what it would have been on the last stream, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, yeah, I don't have Semenyo. It's a bit annoying. I don't have O'Reilly. It's a bit annoying. But I think my team looks okay overall, so just going to leave it there, I think. Yeah, I'm not changing. This is basically what it's been. The volume it's at now is what it's been for the whole season. So I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Cunha or Cherky? I can get Cunha. Yeah. Oh well, if you can get Cherky this week, then Cunha next week. That seems better, I guess. Yeah, I mean Cherky's probably fine this week. How long he's fine for afterwards, I don't know. There's obviously a bit of risk there with the minutes. Burn is injured. Who should I transfer him to? 0.1 in the bank. Total is 5.2 million. Who would I buy this week for 5.2? I don't really know. I don't know. Probably a Crystal Palace defender, maybe. I feel like there's someone obvious I'm missing. Like Van Heck is good this week, but not next week. Yeah, Palace defender probably. Anderson or Hand. Oh my god, I'm going to put this in the ticker. Not that anyone will read it. I could put the bench in. I could do the bench and headaches thing. That's a lot of work. It's not a lot of work, but I should have done it before I started. Yeah, Lacroix does sound pretty good. I wonder how quickly I'm going to regret getting rid of Lacroix and Timber, but we'll see. I think the team looks okay this week. Yeah, maybe a Palace defender. Top 3 midfielders to aim for: Foden and Bruno. I think that just depends week to week. Like this week, the third one's probably Semenyo. Game week 19, it might be Cunha. Saka's still good, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to bring him in now. Would you do Dewsbury Hall and Thiago out for Szoboszlai and Ekatike in? I mean Szoboszlai, sure. Ekatike, I mean, I don't know. Ekatike's fine. He probably gets subbed early in most games if he starts. He's not on penalties. It's Wolves at home, Leeds at home soon, which is good. So he's not like a bad pick, but I probably wouldn't sell Thiago for Ekatike this week. You weren't tempted to go for... I mean, of course I'm tempted to go for Semenyo, but who do I sell? I could do Cunha to Semenyo and back again, but 2 free transfers for a player I know I want back. I'm just going to hope that Semenyo doesn't really punish me this week. Like he could get a 15-plus pointer. It's entirely possible against Burnley, but just have to hope that doesn't happen, right? Wilson has what the transfers in right now are mental. Yeah, Wilson's got a lot of transfers in. Although you saying it's 1 point. Why does my transfers in says 950k? Let me check the FPL page a sec. Yeah, 1.3 million. Why is that not updated? That's a bit weird. What if I click that? Will it update? Oh, yeah, there you go. 1.3 million transfers in for Wilson. Kind of mad. Fernandez only 500k. Rodgers bench or Richards bench? Richards, I think. 4 free transfers. Chow to O'Reilly despite future fixtures. Sure, yeah, don't mind that. O'Reilly looks pretty good. Start 2, Minte. Come on. Minte's got Sunderland at home. Then again, you have got... Why only 2? Oh, start 2 of Minte, Wilson, Ekitike. Probably bench Wilson. And Anderson over Gay. Yes, probably. Or should I just bench boost with Dubravka, Anderson, Minte, Alderete? Well, you can't just put Minte on your bench and say you've got a better bench. It's not really how it works. But like, if you don't, like, you're having to bench one of Wilson, Minte, Ekitike. If you're not bench boosting this week, when are you going to bench? You've got 3 weeks left to use it. You've got to bench one player who's good and a defender who's good. Like, what week are you going to have that's better than that coming up? I feel like some people are just afraid to click the bench boost button. That is absolutely fine to bench boost with, even though Dubravka's playing Bournemouth away. Just know I've never committed to anything for 27 months. Well, thanks for committing to the channel. Play Stack or Chow. Please don't say Chow. He is not Chinese. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Chow. Stack or Chow. Chow, 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 Chow or Stack. Chow, Chow or Stack. I'm going to say Stack, even though I want to say Chow, 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 Chow. Not sure what defenders to own at the moment. Best back 5. I mean, again, it's going to change week to week. I mean, best back 5 is probably Timber, Calafiori, Van Dijk, O'Reilly +1, you know? But, I mean, realistic back 5, that depends on the rest of your team, you know? O'Reilly's good, Van Dijk's good next week and the week after. Arsenal defenders are always good. Senesi's good this week, not next week. Palace defenders are okay. Start one of Kudus, Cash, Gordon, or Jimenez. One? Okay, Cash is a defender, obviously. Chelsea at home, Forest at home. Who's Kudus got? Liverpool. Jimenez, I guess. Bench boost thoughts. What's your bench, though? Thinking Szoboszlai to Cherky. I would just keep Szoboszlai, probably. Again, like with the bench boost, you've got 3 weeks left to use it. If you're not using it this week, how much better is your bench going to be in the next few weeks? Like, you need to look at that. I can't look at your team and work out what the bench is going to be in like 2 game weeks time. Like Cherky's probably better than Szoboszlai this week, but I probably wouldn't do it. I think like Szoboszlai's probably fine, and then as long as he doesn't get yellow carded, you've got Wolves at home next week. So yeah, like I mean. Are you going to get a better bench in the next 2 game weeks? If not, bench boost. Bench 1, Anderson, Fulham, Richards, Chalobah. Chalobah, probably. Play Chow or Chalobah, Chow. Great content as always. Senesi, O'Reilly, Semenyo, Raul Jimenez, Bruno G. Bench 1. I mean, probably Bruno Guimaraes out of those. Start Lacroix or Raul Jimenez, Ekitike, Wilson to Thiago, Gordon, 3 free transfers. Whichever combination you've got, I'd probably hold. I think this week. Richards or Anderson in defence. Anderson, would you do Mateta to Ekitike / Szoboszlai? Oh, sorry. Mateta to Ekitike, Szoboszlai to Minte. Probably not. I mean, Mateta will probably get subbed early. He's managing a knee problem, but it's an okay fixture. He's not had to play in Europe. And Szoboszlai's probably fine for the next 3. Mateta to Ekitike, keep or someone else. Merry Christmas to you too. Again, I'd probably just hold him this week and think about it next week. Jared, 10 months, done. Munoz and Njai to Van Heck and Semenyo. Viewers to downgrade Semenyo from Mount / Szoboszlai next week, then upgrade Welbeck to Ekitike in 18. Yep, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. I'm pretty sure I would buy Szoboszlai over Mount, by the way, but we can talk about that next week. Oh, Mateta did get... Yeah, but he didn't start, right? I mean, he couldn't have played that many minutes. It's not like he was subbed on at half-time, right? I can quickly check. See exactly when he was subbed on. Or how many minutes he played. He played 14 minutes. I mean, hopefully he's okay to play against Leeds. Some terrible transfers out there this week. Is there? I mean, people have got a lot of transfers to spend and they want to spend them. I don't know if there's loads of terrible ones, though. Should I start Gay or Anderson Forest? I'd probably start Anderson. Like Anderson or Szoboszlai. Semenyo must have. I mean, for how many more weeks? 1? Can we call a player must have if they're only must have for 1 week? I feel like it's an obvious role this week for most. I mean, maybe, but it depends on your team, right? I think my team is a fairly obvious role, but not everyone's team is set up like this. They might be set up better, might be worse. Bench boost this week. Verbruggen, Enzo, Calvert-Lewin, Mukiele. Lads, I'm getting a lot of bench boost questions, right? Will your bench look... You've got 3 weeks to use it, okay? You only have 3 weeks left. Are you going to have a better bench than that? I mean, probably not, right? I mean, it's not ideal that Mukiele's away to Brighton, but the other 3 are perfectly reasonable to play this week, and you've got them on your bench, apparently. When are you going to get a better bench than that in the next 3 weeks? That looks good to me. I suspect that most people who are going to ask me a bench boost question should probably just play their bench boost this week. How many Christmas jumpers do you own? I've got quite a lot. Quite a lot now, I think. 1, 2, I think I might have 5 or 6, maybe even 7. No more than 7, though. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, I'm happy to answer the bench boost questions, but I feel like a lot of these are answering themselves. Like, how much better is the bench going to be next few weeks? Oh my god, 6, 7. Oh my god, honestly, yeah. Oh, I'm too old for that rubbish. Would you do Saka and Dewsbury Hall to Cunha and like? Does my head in. That's how you know you're getting old. Some stupid thing that the kids love. I just can't deal with it. Would you do Saka and Dewsbury Hall to Cunha and Semenyo? I would if my defense wasn't looking good this week. Yeah. I like honestly. I feel like I'm just putting off the inevitable, which is that I'm going to have to sell Saka soon or Foden. Still picking Cherky over O'Reilly on free hit. Probably. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not on free hit, so I haven't looked at it since I put that draft out. Like, it's really up to you. You can go either way. Semenyo captain. Yeah, sure, if you haven't got Haaland. Do I think Szoboszlai will start? Yes. Areola going to have a masterclass and ruin my triple captain. Hopefully. I hope Haaland blanks this week, because I suspect his effective ownership will be over 200%, which means if you haven't triple captain him, you want him to blank. Water or Coke today? Both, as always. Would you buy Tavernier to replace Marino? I quite like him as a differential over someone like Wilson, yeah, especially with Burnley at home this week. Who should I replace Dan Burn? We've got 6.7 in the bank. Thinking about Chow long term or O'Reilly, I think, or an Arsenal defender. Rate my team. Looks great. Would you sell Pope or wait for him to return? Like, do we even know when he's going to return yet? Like, do we even know when he's going to return? Like, the fixtures do get good from game week 19. But if you've got spare transfer, do you just not deal with that? Like, is he even going to get thrown straight back in? I have 2 free transfers. Should I roll? I also have 1 point in the bank, 8 in the bank, so could do some Rice to Semenyo. Well, do you want Semenyo long term? I would suggest probably not. So I'd maybe just roll. Like, 2 free transfers doesn't feel like enough to do the Semenyo in, then back out again. Play 2, Van Heck, Vandenberg, Anderson. Ooh, I guess bench Anderson out of those. I don't like benching Anderson, though. I'm still tempted to play him over Vandenberg, just for the home factor. Seriously messed up my chips and went from 200k to 1.1 million. Worth start going crazy, i.e. Captain Semenyo. Probably not. Still a long way to go. If you want a Captain Semenyo, I don't hate it, but I don't... Yeah. I probably wouldn't do it. Like, Haaland is better than Semenyo, I think. But Semenyo definitely not a bad differential. Who do you bench? Chalobah, Senesi. I mean, Senesi's got Burnley at home. Shouldn't even be part of the conversation, right? Very surprised you're playing Van. Are you really that surprised? Really? He's got Wolves away. Bench. I mean, I might swap by the deadline. I'm not sure. Bench Kanate or Vandenberg. Probably Kanate. Thoughts on Minte? I think he's still pretty good value pick at 6.1. He's dropped twice recently, but he does have Arsenal away next week, so you need to probably be either aware of that or prepared to bench him. Best wildcard picks already have Bruno, Foden, Haaland, Thiago. Arsenal defender probably. Timber, I guess, right now. Or maybe Calafiori. Not terrible. I'd be tempted by Cunha probably as well. Play Bruno, G, or Raul Jimenez. Thoughts on Foden, triple captain? Again, like if you want to go different, then he's fine. But I would say Haaland's probably better. Well, I wouldn't say probably better. Like he is better. Which two transfers do you prefer? Richards and Cherky in, or Semenyo and O'Reilly? Semenyo and O'Reilly. Are you still listening to Phoenix? Yes. I'm going to put on Christmas songs instead. Can you give us a few ideas for a free hit draft? If you go and watch my game week preview video, I did a whole section on free hit. Bench boost active as a 1 week only punt. Calvert-Lewin, Mateta, or Nketiah. I mean, Mateta or Calvert-Lewin. I don't know, actually. I mean, the answer should be Mateta. But if he gets subbed around 60, is he actually better than Calvert-Lewin? I'm going to stick with Mateta, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Thoughts on Enzo to Cherky? Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to buy Cherky, but just keep in mind, like his minutes might not be safe forever. Like 2 or 3 weeks, you could have a problem. And Enzo, you probably buy back in 22 or 24. What's your preferred starting order between these? Vandenberg, Anderson, Senesi, Van Dijk, and Nketiah. I mean, I've literally got those defenders. I mean, I guess if you're playing a back three, it's a little bit different. I'd probably bench Vandenberg then. Who do you bench out of Alderete, Chalobah, and Van Dijk? Alderete, oh, no, actually, probably Chalobah. Sell Kudus this week. No good picks near his price. Minte, I guess, is better this week. You could go cheap as well, like Wilson or someone like that, and free up some money. I don't know. Kudus, I don't think he's a great pick. I don't think if you sell him, I don't think you're going to be panicked about getting him back anytime soon. Don't captain Haaland because he has not scored back-to-back braces in the Prem this year. Yeah. Would you bench boost with Thiago and Szoboszlai in my team? Probably, if the bench looks much better this week than it does the next 2 weeks. Yeah, probably. I think they both start. There is obviously some risk there, but I think they both start. Do I start Cash or Anderson defender? Anderson, I think. Your 2 favourite 1 week punts this week. I like Cherky and definitely not Wilson. Like, I think he's good, but 1 week punt, Forest at home doesn't sound great. I mean, it would have to be someone from Bournemouth, right? It'd be Cherky and plus a Bournemouth player, I think. I'd rather have Tavernier than Wilson this week, I suspect. Why no Van Dijk to O'Reilly? Because Van Dijk's much better the next 2 weeks. Suggest replacements for Doku, Voltemada, Dewsbury Hall. How much money you got? How many transfers you got? Semenyo, Saka, Foden, Fernandez, Cunha, Ekitike, Bowen, although it's not a great week to buy Bowen. What percentage chance does Welbeck start? I would say less than 50. I think he's actually quite a bit of a risk. Bookies have Guiu favourite to score first. Is he start? Yeah, but the favourites are just based on if they start, not are they starting, right? So that's just assuming that he does start. The chances are he probably doesn't. I would guess. Thoughts on Sharda? I don't know what my thoughts are on Sharda. My initial instinct is he's probably fine, but I just can't get excited about him as a pick at all. Like he's nailed. If Thiago does miss out, he's probably on penalties, and the fixtures are quite good for Brentford. Like for the next 5 to 6 weeks, he should play every game over Christmas. So for 7 million, I quite like him. But I still don't know if I actually would want to bring him in. Like, I know that sounds weird, but it's just like if I was going to sell Saka this week, I'd probably buy Sharda because I wouldn't be able to buy Szoboszlai with a flag. I think he will start, but I probably wouldn't buy him. So I'd maybe go like Saka to Semenyo, Dewsbury Hall to Sharda. I don't know if I'd be happy about it. Did I watch the Paul AJ fight? Hell no. Not giving that attention. I'm not really a big boxing fan anyway. Do I like? I just don't get how anyone could care about a fight where you absolutely 100% know who's going to win. Would you bench boost with Thiago flagged and transfer Voltemada to Ekitike, even if it blocks me from getting Saka? I think you're okay blocking Saka. Like I like Saka as a pick, but if you didn't buy him before Wolves, you're probably not buying him in any upcoming game week, I would say. I wouldn't worry about that. Yes, I would bench boost with Thiago flagged. Dubravka, Chow, Vandenberg, and Anderson. Again, when's it going to get better than that? Anderson and Vandenberg, I could easily play both of them this week. You're benching them, you know? Start Vandenberg, Chalobah, or Minte. Minte, definitely. Yeah. Szoboszlai, Dewsbury Hall, Thiago Guiu. Take a hit or risk playing with 10 this week. Well, if you... Again, I think Szoboszlai and Thiago will play. I probably wouldn't take a hit. Would I rather double up on Fulham defence or Bournemouth? I always double up on the team playing Burnley. Start Henderson / Petrovic, the guy playing Burnley. Munoz to Van Dijk, Keane, Chalobah. Probably Van Dijk out of those. Which 3 defenders to play? Van Dijk, Anderson, Come on. Van Heck's got Sunderland. Although, actually, that is quite tricky. I'll let you off this one. Which 3 defenders to play? Van Dijk, Anderson, Van Heck, Vandenberg. You've got to play O'Reilly, and I think you've got to play Van Heck. My God. I would play Van Dijk, I think, over Anderson or Vandenberg, but it's not very nice. But if you've got your bench boost, get it played. Play 2 of Chow, Richards, Rodon, Anderson midfielder. Anderson and Richards, probably. Have you used your triple captain? I've used all my chips. They're all gone. Szoboszlai will play right back. I don't think he will. Bradley's back this week. And Frimpong should be in the squad as well. Now, Frimpong probably won't start because he's been out. Do I prefer Senesi to Keane next week or wait until 19 and go Dallo instead? Probably just get Keane. I have looked at future transfer plans, and I mean, it all depends what I do next week. But there is a small chance, there's a higher than 0 chance that I buy Dallo. Maybe even Dorgu. It's going to be really interesting to see how Man United set up against Aston Villa. Like you think that Dorgu, if he's going to stick to a back 3, then Dallo and Dorgu have almost got to play. I think Dorgu is like 4.1, Dallo's 4.4. Now, it would only be a very short-term move, but I'm a little bit tempted. Little bit. But it really depends. Like, if I make... Like, next week, I might sell Saka. And I might just go for a big upgrade in defence. I don't know, maybe I go triple Arsenal defence next week, something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna with 4 free transfers, I'm gonna have a lot of options, and I kind of don't. There's almost part of me that wants to make the moves this week, so I don't have to think about it in the run up to Christmas. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not ruling out buying a Man United defender, but it's not. I'm not looking at it thinking, Christ, I have to get Dallo, because 2 of the games are away, Wolves and Leeds. I think it's only no Burnley's away as well. Is the Leeds game at home? Oh, no, sorry. Wolves is at home. Leeds and Burnley are away. Bench 1 between Richards, Van Dijk, and Vandenberg. Benching Vandenberg feels... Yeah, I would bench Richards, I think. Play 2 of Chow, Richards, Rodon. Oh, I did that one. Should I start Rao, Szoboszlai, Thiago? Probably Thiago. Bench Vandenberg or Chalobah? Chalobah. He's away to Newcastle, right? They literally conceded 4 at home. Yeah, against Bournemouth, though. I mean, Man United defence isn't good. It's just Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley. That's it. The only reason to think about it. Like, they're not playing Bournemouth again anytime soon. And also, Dallo's got like 3 attacking returns recently. You have a fair bit of money in defence, not a single 4 million. Yeah, I haven't owned a 4 million for ages, I don't think. Since I wildcarded in game week 4. I plan to change Thiago to Ekitike. Would you just do it this week? Probably not. Don't think so. Get the chat back. The chat just froze. Hang on. Where did I get up to? First bench, Goodmanson, Krupi, or Tarkovsky? Probably. I don't think Krupi starts. That's the problem with Krupi. Like, obviously, you'd want to play him. But you just don't know if he's going to start. I'm going to assume he doesn't. So I would say I'd probably put Krupi last. Goodmanson, then Tarkovsky, then Krupi probably. Anderson, removing Burmo for 0.3 in the bank, 2 free transfers. Cherky, Semenyo, roll. Well, you've got to sell in Burma, right? Sooner rather than later. My heart says Cherky since better fixtures and form. Also, in case I buy either, what defense do I bench? Probably Anderson. I would just get Semenyo, I think. I think Semenyo is better than Cherky this week. Just keep in mind that if Semenyo gets a yellow card, he will miss Brentford away. Would you start O'Reilly or Cherky? Probably Cherky, but if you've got both, you've got to start both. There's not an either or here. You bench someone else. If you've got Man City players against West Ham, you do not bench them. That's fairly simple, I think. Which defences would you pile into for a free hit? Currently Palace, Bournemouth, Brighton. I mean, Palace, sure, but I wouldn't. On a free hit, I'd probably dodge them, especially when their ownership is so high. Yeah, Bournemouth, Brighton, City would be the main ones. See, I go out for 4 to 6 weeks. Source, Black Box Pod. I'm not sure that's what they said. I didn't watch, but I'm not convinced that's what they said. Up since 1 a.m. watching the cricket. Is there any point in watching the cricket unless you're Australian? Feels like England are just doing rubbish. 207 for 6. The target is 435. Jesus. I mean, if they win that, it'd be impressive, but it ain't going to happen. Oh, I guess the target's 435. We'll just try and bat tomorrow. I see a lot of us are torn between Van Dijk and Vandenberg. Yeah, I do wonder whether the answer should be Vandenberg, but I'm not going to bench Van Dijk. I really don't want to bench Anderson either. There's a little part of me tempted just to play him over Vandenberg still, honestly. Still scarred by... Oh, yeah, Seb went Dewsbury Hall over Wilson. Ouch. It's either him to Tavernier or Tarkovsky to O'Reilly. I wouldn't sell Tarkovsky. I think he's good from next week. So I would get Tavernier. Or go to Wilson. Okay, me and my wife... Oh, I saw divorce. I thought it was about to say you got married, then you got divorced. Me and my wife married 6 months ago. She started playing FPL last season. I've been playing pretty much since the game started. She is currently top 17k, and I'm below 1 million. Is it too early to consider divorce? No, you should just start considering asking her for some advice. She's obviously better than you. Oh, I can't get Wilson now by 0.1 and principal. Yeah, probably Tavernier. Tavernier's minutes are generally quite good. There is the chance of an odd benching every now and then, but I think his minutes are generally quite good at the moment. United are literally one of the worst. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anyone that thinks Man United defence. Man United defence is bad. It's just Wolves, Leeds, Burnley as a short-term move. Maybe I go for Dallo. Like, maybe. Relax. I might not buy him. Bench 1, Van Dijk, Anderson. Probably Anderson, Forest. Fancy O'Reilly to go big soon, though, and Tavernier will have to go again soon. He will, but Dewsbury Hall's not going to... I don't think Dewsbury Hall's going to be back anytime soon. Like, the rumours are, 4 to 6 weeks out. Honestly, there is a chance I buy Tarkovsky next week. Like, nothing's really off the table with 4 free transfers. There is a chance I just buy Tarkovsky. It just feels wrong. I get it. O'Reilly's definitely better this week. Miles better. But next week onwards, don't know. Tarkovsky could be okay. Could be okay. Timber to O'Reilly and Enzo to Semenyo. I wouldn't be selling Timber. Not with Ben White injured. As a Man United fan, did we not hear when Dorgu was brought he can also play off the wing? Imagine his work rate at the top end of the field. I don't recall that, but maybe. That would be... the thing is, let's say Amrim sets up in a formation that's like 4 at the back against Villa and Dorgu does play on the wing, all of a sudden that will look great, but I will have no confidence that will continue. I'd be much more confident buying Dorgu if he sticks with a back 3, to be honest. Team Haaland captain, good luck. Sell Konza, buy Senesi and bench Gay for Senesi. No, probably not. Senesi's like, once Senesi gets Burnley at home out of the way, he's pretty much a sell. Like, it would be okay if you had to play him against Brentford away. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but he's not great after Burnley. 0.3 million in the bank. I have 1 free transfer and White, Dewsbury Hall and Thiago in my team. Should I bring Kanate in? Probably not. I mean, he's not bad the next couple of weeks. I'd prefer to bring in O'Reilly if you could get him instead. I haven't finished all my Christmas shopping. I could. Maybe. Would you go from Szoboszlai to Tavernier? No, don't think so. I'm leaning towards starting Vandenberg and Anderson, but benching Van Dijk and Nkapie seems a bit crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't bench. Like, Arsenal have got the best clean sheet odds this week, I think. Like, they always do. And also, Arsenal have got all their backline fit now, apart from Gabriel, but obviously that's why Nkapie is playing. So I wouldn't be benching him. I have a free hit chip left, and my team is yours, except I have Timber to Nkapie. Ciao. Oh. Okay, so it's the same as mine, but you've got 4 players different. When should I play my free hit? Like, again, I'm not thinking about when to play free hit for my team because I've already used it, so I don't know is the answer. Like, so you got Timber, Chow, Richards. I don't know. The thing is, I've set my team up so it doesn't need a free hit this week. But this week might be the best week to play it, depending on your future transfers. I do not know when the best week to play the free hit is for your team, is the honest answer. My gut feeling is probably not 18. I think this week or 19 is probably better. But 19 is a midweek, so trying to guess rotation could be a nightmare. Could you make this team better this week? Yes. You could go for 2 more Bournemouth, 1 more City. You could swap Nkapie to like Timber or Calafiori. So this week might be okay. But is that the best week for your specific team? I don't know. Bench 1, Rice, Wilson, Bruno G, Bowen. I mean, probably Bruno G. Maybe him or Bowen. Yeah, Bruno G, I think, is the one I would probably say. Texas barbecue or sour cream and onion for Pringles? Barbecue, for sure. Would you bench me if you had Thiago? Yes. I'm going to put that in the ticker. I'd still bench boost if I had Thiago. There we go. Triple captain Haaland this week or Ekatike next? Haaland this week by a mile. Raya, I think the Ekatike hype's getting a little bit too high now. Like, he's a good pick, but he's not triple captain material in my opinion, even if it is Wolves at home. Raya, Van Dijk, Anderson, O'Reilly, triple captain active, 1.2 million in the bank. What to do? Well, what are you thinking about doing? Like, what moves are you thinking about making? Roll? Just triple captain? Like, which of those players do you not like this week? Tarkovsky's not great, but he's good from next week. Is a 4-5-1 looking more viable moving forward? I'm never going to be fully on board with 4-5-1. Like if you can go Haaland a dead spot and like a Calvert-Lewin, and you're not going to play Calvert-Lewin most weeks, like someone like Calvert-Lewin, right? Then that's okay. But the idea of just constantly benching 2 really cheap forwards, I just don't like it that much. If you've got a lot of transfers and you want to do it for a few weeks and then come back to a second playing forward, it might be okay. But yeah, in general, I probably wouldn't do it. Tavernier screams essential. Does he? Does he, or did he just get a goal and assist last week? Bench 1, Vandenberg, Van Dijk, Anderson, or Enzo. Ooh. Anderson, I think. Sorry, my son's trying to call me and I'm trying to find out what's up. Nothing, it seems. Need to remove Njai. Would you go for Foden if it means downgrading Mateta for Junior Krupi, Harden and Thiago up top? Yes, I think that's fine. Okay, sorry. Is Kudus on penalties? We think he might be, but I wouldn't be as I wouldn't be all that confident in it. He did take one when Richarlison was on the pitch, so there is positive signs he could be. I'm still not fully convinced he's outright first choice, but I guess based on what we saw in Europe, we'd say Kudus probably is. Is Pope back? Looking to bench boost and still have him. I don't think he's back. Sorry, I completely missed Newcastle stuff yesterday. Let me see. What did he say? Anyone give me a heads up? Let me see. I can't see anything on Pope. I don't know what Eddie Howe said. Oh, he's a doubt. Okay, so he might be back. Oh, looking to bench. You can't bench boost with Pope. It's too risky. Which defender to play, Anderson or Vandenberg? Answer on screen. Already have Timber and Nico O'Reilly. Nice. Has Boscagli from Brighton as one of the defenders. I'm not sure what you mean. Are you missing something? Like, is in he's going to start? I don't think so. Gyökeres to Ekitike this week or next. I mean, I don't think there's a rush to get Ekitike till next week. But the thing is, Gyökeres might not start. Ekitike probably will. So I'd be tempted to do that. Like, it could just be Marino up front. I mean, Arsenal are probably better off if they play Marino right now. Do I miss Andy Carroll as an FPL option? Not really. What's your reason for rolling this week? I just look at my team. Looks fine to me. Thoughts on free hit 19 with triple Man United, Liverpool, Newcastle, betting against Arsenal players versus Villa? Yeah, can definitely work. The only thing, again, game week 19 is a midweek. So you've got potential rotation, which might be difficult to call, but there should be if Szoboszlai's fit, you know he's going to start. You know Van Dijk's going to start. You know Fernandes is going to start. Cunha's probably a good start. Newcastle, you could play it safe with like Chow, the goalkeeper, although maybe not with Pope Ramsdale, but you know what I mean. You could also potentially base it off what happens the week before, etc. So in theory, 19 could be nice. I think you just want a bench for 19. Bench Van Dijk or Voltemada. Voltemada should start. I'd probably play Voltemada. Start 2 out of Chow, Van Dijk, Richards. I would bench Chow, I think. The only stuff we have on Thiago is that he's a doubt. I think he's going to play. I really do. It's going to be funny if he doesn't. When are Brentford playing? They are playing today, I assume. Yeah, 3 o'clock. So we'll find out at 1:45 whether Thiago's playing. When do Man United play? Man United playing tomorrow, 4:30. The only game tomorrow. Oh, there's 2 games on at 8 o'clock today. I think I'll probably end up watching Arsenal. I don't like 8 o'clock games on a Saturday, by the way. Not a fan. Not a fan. The latest game should be 5:30, I think. And then 5:30 Spurs Liverpool, where I'm just hoping for a Van Dijk goal. Am I scared of having 2 Man United versus Villa? Not really. Like scared? Like why would I be scared? Ekitike or Jesus? Ekitike. Is selling Gordon a must? No. Would you feel Voltemada over any of Szoboszlai, Rogers, Minte? Probably over. Szoboszlai, maybe. in hand, wildcard active, Sanchez and Cap. I wouldn't if you're wildcarding. There's no chance I would have. That can't be your wildcard team, right? Xhaka, Isidore, Bijol, Giu. That's not a wildcard. Eze got 3.2 in hand, wildcard active. Okay, yeah. I mean, wildcarding that team seems very good to me. Like Porro, Eze. Yeah, you should wildcard that team if that's what you're asking. 3 transfers, how to improve this team. Again, like I can't work out what transfers you should make for all your future weeks and stuff like that. So you need to give me some heads up about what you're thinking. Basically, that team to me looks quite good, so you could probably just roll. Apart from Pope, maybe change the goalkeeper. But you'd have to let me know what you're thinking. Pope near, Hall start, Tino out until 26, Miley right back. Okay, so Pope could be back in the next couple of weeks. But will he definitely... Do we think that Pope will definitely go straight back in? Or will it be Ramsdale? Lewis Miley right back's rubbish, by the way. Persist with although he did okay from what I heard the other day. Persist with Enzo and João Pedro. I used 3 free transfers to fix. João Pedro would be an easy sell for me. Enzo less so, actually. I think Enzo's okay-ish to hold, but I probably would prefer plenty of other midfielders right now. What's your plans with Nkapie in the coming weeks? Wait until Gabriel's back and then sell him. Now, who for? I don't know, because it will depend which week I sell him. Like, he could go to Tarkowski, he could go to Keane, he could go for a short-term move to Dallo. I could even still bring in O'Reilly after this week, although probably not. I could free up the money to go straight back to Gabriel. Like, it depends. The plan is play it by ear. I don't particularly like players like this, where you're not quite sure if they're going to keep starting. But I've put myself in this position, so I just got to deal with it. What do you reckon Erling's EO will be this game week? Probably over 200, but not like massively. I'd say like 215% maybe. Could you explain at what percentage points regular captains would want him to blank? Yeah, if he's over 200% effective ownership, you need him to blank, basically. But don't stress about it too much. Best Livramento replacement got was 5.3 and O'Reilly. Yeah, I think defenders are weird to buy this week if you're not buying O'Reilly. I think I would buy a Palace defender, maybe. Yeah, maybe Palace. I think defenders are just rubbish to buy this week. What do you think about Bruno Semenyo for a 2-week punt? Like Bruno to Semenyo? No. Have as close to template as possible otherwise and have no other transfer I want to make 4 free transfers. Like Bruno to Semenyo then back again. But have you not made money on Bruno? Probably not. If that's it, I don't really get what the question is. Whether it just says what do you think about Bruno Semenyo for 2-week punt? If it's Bruno to Semenyo, no. -4 to replace Livramento or play Rodon. Play Rodon. Who should I bench out of Bruno, G, Anderson, Richards? Richards maybe out of those? Do you like Minte or Cunha to start? I mean, this week, probably because it's Sunderland at home, I would probably just go Minte. Yeah, Dallo's okay, but when you say showing some recent form, that's attacking potential. Defensively, Man United are pretty bad. So I'm not sure how many clean sheets I'll be expecting. Start one of Van Dijk. Start one of Van Dijk, Anderson, and Rice. 1. Rice. Van Dijk to O'Reilly to fund Njai to Foden. I really don't like... it feels like you've come this far with Van Dijk. He's about to play Wolves at home, Leeds at home. It feels like a really bad time to do that. I guess, sure, if you've got no other way to get Foden, but I don't particularly like it. Please check my lineup, my bench. I'm thinking about removing Szoboszlai and bringing Vandenberg in. I would just play Szoboszlai, I think. Vandenberg's a perfectly good backup, just in case. 3 free transfers. Plan to use 1 free transfer. Is it worth doing Dewsbury or the Tavernier as a 1-week punt to bench one of Van Dijk or Anderson? Probably not. I'd probably roll. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, getting to 4 free transfers is also more than fine. Any chance Bruno goes back to the 10 spot? I mean, there's a possibility. By the way, I'm not even sure it makes him much better. Like, really. His attacking numbers are okay anyway. He'll lose DEFCONs if he goes and plays 10. Like, does that get outweighed by the attacking potential? Possibly, but it's not a guarantee. But yeah, is there a chance he goes and plays number 10? Yes, but honestly, I've got no idea what Amorim's going to do. My gut feeling is he'll just play a back 3. and just keep the same setup. And he'll just play Dorgu left wing back, Dallo right wing back, like Yoro, Heaven, Martinez, or Shaw, whoever it is, right? 3 centre backs, Fernandez and Ugarte, and then probably Mount Cunha. It's the third, like maybe Sheshko if he's fine, like Sheshko with Mount and Cunha behind. It could just be Bruno in the 10 with Mount and Cunha up front. Because Cunha up front's worked really well the last couple of games, although they have been easier games. And then maybe Mainu comes in. I really don't know. Like, anything's possible this week, I think, for Man United. Let's see what happens. Bench 2, Timber and Capier, Senesi, Van Dijk, Richards. Bench 2, Van Dijk and Richards, probably. Why bring in Tarkowski next week over Keane? Just for certainty of starts long term, basically. But again, I might not buy Tarkowski. I'll tell you now, I'm going to roll to 4 free transfers. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing next week. Zero idea. And I will have to make transfers next week. I don't think I can roll again. But I've got no idea. Absolutely zero idea. I've got no plans whatsoever. Best wildcard team. I don't know. I've not looked at wildcard all that much this week, to be honest with you. But I mean, it probably contains Bruno, Foden, Timber. I don't know about Ray. I'll probably go cheap goalkeeper. Probably contains O'Reilly, Haaland. Maybe not Thiago, maybe Ekatike. Maybe Bowen. Something like that. My team is Doodeloo. My bench is bad. I was thinking about removing Szoboszlai and bringing Vandenberg. You already asked me this, though, and play 4-4-2. I would just play Szoboszlai. You could play Vandenberg over Anderson if you wanted to. Like, your team's fine. I think you're worrying about not much, to be honest. I mean, sure, if you want to play Vandenberg over Szoboszlai, it's fine, do it. But I would go the other way around. I genuinely think we're going back 4. Yeah, we could be. I really don't know. I don't think anyone truly knows. I mean, he did play a back 4 within that match against Bournemouth. There was like a couple of different setups. Yeah, I'd be interested to see a back 4, like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. Yeah. See what happens. But where Bruno will play, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Pope and Dewsbury Hall for Verbruggen and Cherky. That sounds quite nice to me, yeah. Villa, Martinez, Harry Wilson, Anderson, Vandenberg, bench boost. The problem with I think Martinez is a doubt, right? But he should start, I think. I'm sure I saw something. They're going to assess him. I'm sure I saw Unai Emery press conference. Yeah, he's a doubt. I suspect he'll play. Yeah, I think you've got to bench boost that. Would you have? Are you going to have a better bench next couple of weeks than Martinez, Harry Wilson, Anderson, and Vandenberg? Probably not. Open Dewsbury Hall for broke. Oh, did that one. Thoughts on bringing in Cherky? I think he's a good option this week. How long his minutes will remain safe, I don't know. And early subs definitely a possibility. But as long as he plays, he's good. And he's a huge differential as well. Obviously, everyone's been looking at Foden recently. I liked your video on one striker. Definitely got me thinking about the possibility. But the outcome I kind of had was I don't really like it. Why don't you bench Cunha and play a back 5? Come on. You wouldn't bench Cunha in my position. No chance. Start Chow or Mukiele. See, Chow's at home, so I feel like you should play him. I'm going to say Chow just because he's at home. It's quite close. If you already have Haaland, Foden, and Vardy, do you really need Cherky? Well, you can't. No one needs Cherky, especially if you've got a triple up on Man City. How can you drink Coke Zeros at 9 a.m.? You just lift the can, put it to your mouth, you tilt it a little bit, and then yeah, that's it. It's quite simple, really. Best replacement for Eze, Szoboszlai or Sharda? I'm going to say Szoboszlai. He is risky this week, and he is on 4 yellows. So if you're not willing to take that risk, go Sharda. But Yeah, probably Szoboszlai. Like, if Szoboszlai gets through this week with no yellow, I think you're going to like him for next week. So I wish there was more games on December 24th. No, not really. I mean, there's none. That sounds quite good to me. I wish there was more games on Boxing Day. When Pong comes back into the team, do you think he plays right wing and Szoboszlai plays right back? No, no chance. I mean, there's a chance he plays right wing. I don't think it's so Szoboszlai plays right back, though. Who for Burn long term? Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Calafiori. Probably Calafiori. Like, now, define long term. Next 4 weeks, maybe Van Dijk. But longer than that, probably Calafiori. I mean, he's a pretty nice price. He's nearly $1 million cheaper than Timber now, right? Timber is 6.5. Calafiori's 5.7. But maybe that's an option for me, you know. Not this week. Richarlison versus Liverpool at home or Rice? Considering Thiago's flagged, who's better as first bench? Anderson, yeah, over Mukiele, I would say. Maybe I was overthinking that Szoboszlai play. Yeah, I would hold the transfer in your case. I think your team looks all right. I think your team looks better than you're giving it credit for, to be honest. Start Thiago or Timber? Thiago, I think. Do you open your Christmas presents on the 24th or the 24 p.m. or 25 a.m.? Christmas Day. Do I bench Szoboszlai or Anderson? I'd probably bench Anderson. Again, there is some risk with Szoboszlai and Thiago. So are you willing to take that risk? If yes, I'd play them. I think they're going to start. How long is Keane nailed? Until Jared Branthwaite's back, presumably. The one SWFC. Did I answer your super chat? I hope so. No, I did not. Play Raul Jimenez and roll, or Dewsbury to Tavernier and bench Raul. I wouldn't make a transfer to bench Raul Jimenez, probably. I think he's fine this week. I think people are worried about Raul Jimenez because they bought him in for Burnley and he blanked, which is understandable. But I still think he's an okay pick this week. I wouldn't be panicking about him too much. Does Keane even get dropped? Well, I mean, there is a possibility he just keeps playing, but I find it hard to believe that Branthwaite won't come into the team when he's fit. Now, could Tarkowski get dropped instead? I mean, maybe, but again, I don't see it. Baltimore Minte to Guiu Fernandez or play Minte. I would probably just play Minte, but I would want Fernandez soon, I think. Start one of Raul Jimenez or Weef. Oh, Raul Jimenez, come on. Although, I guess Weefer's not bad against Sunderland, but definitely Raul Jimenez. Have I done all my Christmas shopping? Yeah, pretty much. What have I asked for? I would love a Terry's chocolate orange. No one ever buys me a chocolate orange anymore. Not a mint one, not a plain one, not a salted caramel one, or other stupid flavours they got these days. Just an orange one, please. Saka or Bruno, if you had to pick one, Bruno. Start Mukiele or Van Heck. Come on, come on. One of them's playing home to Sunderland. One's away to Brighton. Did I do a wildcard draft this week? I did not. No, I've not. If I'm honest, I've not really thought about wildcard too much this week. But again, Haaland, Foden, O'Reilly, Bruno Fernandes, maybe even Cunha, Semenyo. I would definitely have one or two Bournemouth, and then especially if you've got transfers saved up. Arsenal defender, Calafiori or Timber. Seems fairly straightforward. Van Dijk maybe if you can afford it. Yeah, the mint is good, but orange is classic, you know. Bench one, Tavernier. Come on, Tavernier against Burnley at home. Are you really considering benching Tavernier? Really? I'd bench Anderson. Any strikers under 8 million you'd swap João Pedro for aside from Thiago? Bowen next week. Does Tyler Adams being out improve Tavernier's minutes? Probably yes. I mean, presumably Scott will just play. But yeah, I mean, Tavernier's minutes are already pretty good. He often plays 90. Do Enzo and Reinders to Tavernier and Cherky, or just do Enzo to Semenyo and pray Reinders starts? Reinders' minutes are probably okay at the moment. Ish. Because Foden can play wide with no Doku. So, but then Tavernier. The thing is, if you do the Tavernier and Cherky, who are you benching? I think I'd be tempted just to get Enzo and play Reinders. Sorry, just get Semenyo and play Reinders. But it depends who you'd bench if you go for. I guess you. Sorry, you would just play Semenyo and Reinders. Yeah, obviously. I would pray that Reinders starts, I think, and just get Semenyo. Also, it's just one transfer. Do I regret selling Timber? Sort of, because I think he's a really good pick going forward, especially with the Ben White injury. But also, should I regret a move that helped me get 14 points last week? I mean, I could have. Maybe there's another move that I could have made that would have used fewer transfers and not sold Timber and got similar points, but I'm not sure what that would have been, to be honest. So I wouldn't have had much money to spend. So I think Timber's a really good pick. I just have to hope that Nkapie can get close to him until Gabriel's back. Have 3 Bournemouth, Semenyo, Tavernier, Petrovic, Foden, Saka thinking of transferring out. Eze, pick and rank 2 midfielders for short term and 2 mids for long term. I mean, Semenyo, under 8 million. Seems pretty good for short term. Long term, under 8 million, Cunha for the next 5 weeks. I would say. Another midfield, I'm not sure. Cherky, short term. Another long term one, under 8 million. Szoboszlai, maybe. I'm not even sure he's that long term. Yeah, definitely Semenyo short term. My team is Doodaloo. I have 3 transfers. Should I roll? I mean, probably. What moves are you thinking about doing? Team looks pretty good. And Gordon, maybe not great, but who are you thinking about bringing in for him? I mean, if you're not sure what to do, by the way, rolling to 4 and figuring it out next week is a perfectly reasonable strategy. I mean, you could go like Gordon to Semenyo and then out to someone else next week if you're willing to use the transfers. Might be an option. Like Gordon, I still don't quite know where I stand on Gordon. Like I think he's quite a good pick the next 6, but also his minutes could just be really managed. Saka to Bruno now or game week 19. You can probably wait, I would say. The only thing is, if Fernandes does well again, his price is just going to keep going up. But you can probably wait. I think Saka's just as good next to. Bench boost this week: Dubravka, Chow, Vandenberg, and Anderson. I mean, probably, yeah, you got Vandenberg and Anderson. Like, when's it going to get better than that bench? Also, that's not your bench this week because you got 3 defenders. So it's actually you'd have to play one of those defenders. Celebrations, Roses, Heroes, or Quality Street. So I like Heroes because they're the only suites like that. So you get a more in-depth answer about this than FPL. I like Heroes because there's no chocolate in there I don't like. Whereas in every other box of stuff, there's something I don't like. So Celebrations, Bounties, and then Roses and Quality Street, there'd be like some nut thing in there I don't quite like. Although I think I like most of them. But I love the orange and strawberry creams, and you just don't get anything like that in Celebrations or Heroes. So not begrudgingly, even though I like everything in Heroes and not necessarily the rest, I'd probably go Quality Street or Roses. I think they both do the orange and strawberry cream. Hating Bounties is so I mean, not forced, I just don't like coconut. Like, yeah. Start Kukurea or Chow. Is Kukurea sell or hold? Kukurea is like both. He's absolutely playable the next couple, but the next 4 overall are not great. I would probably start Chow at home. I was thinking of getting Tavernier and Enzo. I wouldn't be buying Enzo right now. I think he can wait. Licious Heat, welcome. Thank you. You remember? Playing draft, want another 1 Bournemouth defender. Alex Jimenez has started the last 3 games, 2 in the left wing and right wing, and 1 right back. Or do I go safe for Diakite? I think so. My experience of playing draft for a full season last year is with these defenders, you can like defenders are kind of a position you can swap about quite a lot. So I think I would go Jimenez just because after this week they're not great anyway. But obviously, if you want the long term pick, you go Diakite. But I don't know if you need a Bournemouth defender long term. From Van Dijk, Lacroix, and Chow, is Chow for the bench? Yes, I would say probably him. So many people hate on the orange creams. Oh no, I love them. Orange. I think my sister was saying last year you can actually buy bags of just the orange or strawberry creams. I love them. They're my best. They're my favourite out of all the Christmas chocolates, I would say. Thoughts on transfer plans with second bench boost in mind? I have no idea. I have not thought about the second bench boost at all. So yeah, the honest answer is I have zero transfer plans with the second bench boost in mind. I mean, presumably I will try and play it over a double game week. I'll just wait and see. Yeah, no plans. Probably play it around a wild card or something like that. Left FPL since game week 11. Rank drop 100k to 1.5 million. 5 free transfers help me. I can't just fix your whole team. What moves are you thinking about making? Come on. I mean, you've not got a wild card left. I mean, Gabriel's injured. Rodon's not great, although he's fine this week. Sar's gone to AFCON. Caicedo's a rubbish pick, as we all know. Gakpo's injured, so they're probably the ones you would probably fix first. João Pedro as well is not great, so sell them. And buy some other players who have been talked about a lot this week. Yeah, I would deal with the flag players first, I think. Taking a hit to do James to Chow 3 weeks ago is low-key so annoying. Yeah, I mean, hits are never great for defenders anyway. I mean, Newcastle defense might be okay 19 onwards. Would you bench Chow or Eze? I mean, probably Chow, but I mean, there's no guarantee Eze starts. That is really no guarantee. I'd probably sell Eze and play whoever you buy over Chow. Is Voltemada still an option? Not a great one, in my opinion. Rank 2.6 million. Take on Haaland with Foden. I would just go Haaland. 29 months, by the way. I would go Haaland. I think he's still better than Foden. The problem is, like, when you're low ranked and you try and start going differential, like, if it doesn't work, you're just further behind. So, like, 2.9 million is easy to recover from this far out. Loved putting Ben White in last week and now having to take him out. I mean, I don't want to, like, kick you while you're down, but Ben White was never going to be a long-term option anyway. So, like, even if he hadn't got injured, there was no guarantee he would start this week. In fact, he probably wouldn't. It probably would be Timber, Nkapie, Saliba, and Calafiori anyway. So, yeah, injury or not, you'd probably be looking at selling him. 13k rank, Thiago to Evan Nielsen done. Evan Nielsen, oof. Insane to go against Hunt. Do not... look, anything's possible in football. But please do not captain Evan Nielsen over Haaland. If I fail, I can make up with free hit next week. I mean, maybe. Evan Nielsen's not on penalties. His minutes aren't fully secure. He's fine because it's Burnley at home. But captain, yeah, not for me. Wildcard 17, going Ekatike, not Saka. Sounds fine. 1, Rice or Sharda. Sharda. 2, Verbruggen and Sanchez, ready for 21-22 run. Do you know what? If you're comfortable... Verbruggen and Sanchez or plus 4.4. Honestly, if you're comfortable having two goalkeepers, I actually think it's better. I think Verbruggen and Sanchez is probably better than Raya and Dubravka, yeah. Especially if it saves you money as well. Like, it's not like it's not how most people set up their goalkeepers, but I think it's okay. I honestly do. I know exactly why you're thinking about doing it. Brighton's short-term fixtures, Chelsea's long-term, and they probably rotate quite well. I haven't looked at the rotation, but Verbruggen obviously plays Arsenal next week. Sanchez is at home. And then Verbruggen's fine for the next 2 after that. And then you're starting to get to Chelsea's good fixtures. So I quite like it. You haven't mentioned Harry Wilson yet. I have. I think I said he was a terrible picker. No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. He's an amazing pick. I'm sure Harry Wilson will get another 16-pointer this week. Honestly. Sure he will. Pick 1, Thiago, Van Dijk or Harry Wilson? Thiago. Bench 1 of Thiago, Wilson, Minte or Voltemada. Ooh. I mean, probably Wilson. Him or Voltemada. But you had Evan Nielsen earlier in the season when he wasn't on penalties. Yeah, of course. And I own Thiago right now, but I'm not going to captain him over Haaland. Start 2, Richard, Szoboszlai, Calvert-Lewin, Watkins. Ooh. I think Watkins and Calvert-Lewin. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, I think so. 1 free transfer, Enzo to Tavernier or Cherky or Roll. I don't think you can do Enzo to Tavernier. That just feels too short term. Honestly, with 1 free transfer, I'd be tempted just to hold Enzo. I really would. We're not going to get any more info on Thiago ahead of the deadline, I'm afraid. On free hit, do you like Evan Nielsen and Rodgers and Palmer? Look, they're all fine. Cole Palmer will presumably start because he didn't play Carabao Cup. But again, he could be a pre-60-minute sub. He's away to Newcastle. I wouldn't go there on free hit. Rodgers is fine because it's Man United at home. But I feel like Bournemouth, City, maybe even like Fernandes, Saka are all better. And Evan Nielsen's fine because it's Burnley at home. I have a feeling triple captain Haaland's going to absolutely smash it. Yeah, it could do, annoyingly. I hope it doesn't. But I think it probably could. 1 free transfer, Semenyo or O'Reilly. I mean, do you need a new midfielder or do you need a new defender? I mean, honestly, right now, O'Reilly's probably the better long-term pick. But in the short term, I'd rather have Semenyo. You're a Man United fan, it looks like. Is that the Christmas jumper giving it away? Just look like a Man United fan with my blue and white Christmas jumper. Hear me out. Eze to Verts. Sure, I mean, Eze's not very good. Why not? I was going to be really psychotic and say, why not buy another not so good player? But like, if Verts gets the minutes, he's not bad the next 3. Play Van Dijk or Cash. Van Dijk, I think. Is getting Ekitike instead of Thiago a good move? I would just keep Thiago. 103 points last game week. 4 transfers last week. Went from nice. Best rank so far. Nice. You can get better after this week. I have Thiago up front. Nice. Start Richards, Goodmanson, or Mukiele. Transfer out Thiago. Roll and start Richards, I think. What are the chances that Lewis Skelly will start? Last week, Mikel Arteta started Ben White for his 3rd game in a week after not playing many minutes, with Calafiori, their first choice left back, suspended, rather than playing Lewis Skelly against one of the easiest teams in the league. So do I think there's a high chance that Lewis Skelly will start against Everton away after all that stuff that happened last week? Not really. I cannot believe he didn't start Lewis Skelly last week. I think it's madness. But it is what it is. Now White's injured. Although I did think White would start, but that was mostly because I thought Saliba would be out. If I knew Saliba was going to play last week, I would have predicted a Ben White benching and Lewis Skelly start, I think. You've gone Bruno and Cunha against Villa. That's why I suspect you being a Man United fan. I mean, what's wrong with Bruno? And what's wrong with Cunha? Like, Cunha's got a goal and assist the last 2 weeks. Why the hate? Like, you can't just sell someone because, like, Villa away is not like an awful, awful fixture. It's not easy, but it's not panic stations. I'm not going to sell them to buy them back. They got Wolves. Why Bruno? Really? Why? You can't. Do you know what? You're not allowed to ask me why Bruno. You're not allowed anymore. I've taken so much stick for Bruno this season. The guy is the 2nd highest scoring player in FPL. You are not allowed to ask me why Bruno. That is off limits now as a question until Bruno starts blanking more regularly. Triple captain Haaland this weekend or next? I mean, this weekend definitely. I mean, bench boost, that depends on what your bench looks like, right? I can't tell that, but probably triple captain Haaland this week. Try and bench boost the next couple of weeks. Some midfielder option under 6.5 for the next 4 or 5 weeks. I've planned Dewsbury Hall, but now he's injured. I need to check other options like Tavernier, Miley, Cherky, someone else. Probably Cherky. Take the risk. Miley, definitely not. Yeah, I think Cherky, take the risk. It's a risk, though. Are you willing to take it? Start Chow or Bruno Guimaraes? Bruno Guimaraes. I will start banning everyone who questions Bruno. The second highest scoring player in FPL. Get out of here. Why have you not got Bruno? That's a better question. I mean, Cunha, fair enough. But, like, I don't know what people's problem is with Cunha. He's going to play. He's going to play number 9 a little bit as well. He's underperformed so far, so the returns are coming. He's got good fixtures coming up. He's a huge differential. Massive. get out of it. Get out of it with the Man United attacker questions. Start three of Mukiele, Kukurea, Van Dijk, Timber, Gay. I think Timber, Van Dijk, and Gay probably. One to bench, Senesi, Anderson, Chalobah. Is Thiago not a concern? I mean, yeah, he's a small concern. Is getting Ekitike instead of Thiago a good move? I mean, I wouldn't sell Thiago for Ekitike this week. But if you're like on wildcard or something, or you're buying new, then yeah, you probably dodge Thiago. You were thinking about selling Saka. Who are you planning to bring in? I mean, maybe Semenyo. Dewsbury Hall update. He's out this week. Stick to Tete or Reece James to Vandenberg or someone else. I think Tete's fine this week. Calvert-Lewin in form or Henderson for Brentford double with Thiago. Sorry, are you asking me whether to buy Jordan Henderson or over Calvert-Lewin, or to play Henderson over like Jordan Henderson? I mean, I would play Calvert-Lewin. I think. I mean, Henderson did score recently, sort of. Probably should have been an own goal if it wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't expected. I was not expected to be asked a question at all this season. Calvert-Lewin or Henderson. Making me laugh in hospital with a Bruno chat. Damn, in hospital. Hope you're doing all right and getting better. Do I reckon Marcus Tavernier is a good 1 week punt? Yes. I have a very strong feeling Thiago won't start. Keith Andrews has been afraid to drop him even when fit. So he's afraid to drop him. Oh, hasn't been afraid to drop him. What are you about? He's played every game apart from one. That was a midweek fixture. One to bench. Wilson, Raul Jimenez, Minte. Probably. I mean, I would probably play Raul Jimenez over Wilson because of penalties, but I suspect because Wilson's done so well recently, most people would say Jimenez bench. Is Saka to Semenyo with only 2 free transfers too aggressive? I just and look, I always worry about this probably more than other people. Like, how annoying will it be if you bring in Semenyo and he does okay, but nothing more than that, and then he gets a yellow and misses 18? Like he probably like I've never looked into this, but intuitively you would think that players would be more likely to pick up yellows in more difficult games. So presumably Semenyo won't get a yellow this week. I don't know. I don't know if Semenyo is that much better than Saka. I'd only be selling Saka for Semenyo if you need the money for something. I don't even know if the question was Saka to Semenyo. I've kind of forgotten now. The Spurs score this week. I mean, probably, but hopefully not. Tempted on Van Dijk to Calafiori. Wildcard 18. Ooh. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know if Calafiori's miles better than Van Dijk this week, to be honest. I feel like if you're wildcarding 18 and wanting to take a punt, you can probably do something a bit more interesting. But I think it's fine, yeah. Is Kroopy worth a shout over Gay? Probably not. I would just go for the guaranteed starter. So I'm triple captain this week with Haaland. Best game week to use it. Yeah, probably this week or game week 19. Bruno Fernandes against Wolves at home. But this week's probably the best. When am I playing triple captain? Game week 6. Any Brighton bib leaks? No, I don't think so. Unfortunately. Need to decide between Welbeck or De Kuyper or both and bench Richards. I'd probably play Welbeck and Richards, but I mean, De Kuyper, the problem with him now, like Mitoma's back as well, right? I mean, is he fit enough to start? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who's. I don't know who's more likely to start out of Welbeck or De Kuyper. I would play Richards for sure. Suggested transfers for Mbermo and Njai. Foden, Fernandes, Cunha, Semenyo, Minte. Players like that, probably. Szoboszlai, if you want to take a risk. One to bench. Wilson, Tavernier, Calvert-Lewin. The penalties is always the kicker for me, so I'd probably bench Wilson. Richarlison has a habit of scoring against big 6 teams. Liverpool won't keep a clean sheet. Possibly, you could be right. Senesi to O'Reilly or Roll. Senesi's got Burnley at home. I hope they get rid of the annoying pop-up that comes after saving your team. I don't think it's going anywhere, to be honest. Any news? We're not going to get any more news on any players than we've had since yesterday, to be honest. So Thiago's a doubt, but he's probably going to play. Szoboszlai's a small doubt. He's probably going to play. Bench Senesi or Xhaka. Again, Senesi's got Burnley at home. Play 2, Senesi, James Richards or Raul Jimenez. Again, Senesi has got Burnley at home. And Raul Jimenez. Would you change Thiago to Calvert-Lewin on the bench boost? No, I don't think so. Again, I'm pretty confident Thiago will start. Maybe that confidence is misplaced. I don't know, but I think he will. So I probably wouldn't sell him on bench boost. Which two would you start out of? Joachim Anderson, Chalobah, Rodon, and Klein. Ooh. I'm going to say Anderson and Klein. Bench Cucurella or Lacroix. Cucurella. Starting Šeško, Calvert-Lewin, Haaland. Good luck. I don't know what to do with Cucurella. I think he's sellable. I don't think he's a must-sell, but I think he is sellable. Who'd you prefer for the upcoming weeks, Rice or Bruno G? Probably Rice. If you didn't hear who Senesi's got, you can just rewind. One thing that gets on my nerves is waiting 45 minutes after the deadline to see my team. Yeah, I mean, I always set my team up straight away. Next week's not going to look quite so good, though. Oh, Dewsbury Hall, man. Why'd you have to miss Burnley? It was going to be perfect. I could roll it. Like, if Dewsbury Hall wasn't injured, I could roll this week and next week. I could play 3-5-2 next week. Dewsbury Hall against Burnley. So sad. Cherky Sharda start ahead of Van Dijk. I'd start both of them ahead of Van Dijk. Is Bruno Guimaraes a sell? Honestly, people have got no... I feel like Bruno Guimaraes, Rice, like people have got no patience for these players. Like Bruno Guimaraes is fine to sell, in my opinion. He has got good fixtures coming up, though. Bench 1, Anderson, Senesi, Richards, Canate. Senesi's got Burnley at home. And Canate, probably. Morning from the Austrian Alps. Sunshine, snow, beer, and hopefully a monster FPL. Very nice. Good luck. How can you see how long someone has been subbed for? I don't think I can. I can't believe I'm thinking about a goalkeeper swap. I have Dubravka for a bench boost. Do you have thoughts on a goalkeeper to rotate with Raya? I would just play Dubravka on the bench boost. Because the thing is, there's no point in thinking about rotation for Raya because you're just going to play Raya pretty much every week. So yeah, I would just play Dubravka and not use a transfer on a goalkeeper, to be honest. Unless you're on like 5, but even then. Bench 1, Calvert-Lewin or Watkins. Calvert-Lewin probably. Still have free hit, use game week 18 or 19. Both can work, depends on your team. Is the honest answer. 19's probably got the more interesting team you can build. Like, put it this way, right? I said this is the problem with trying to answer what's the best week to free hit. I was messaging someone the other day and I said to them 17 or 19 is probably going to be the best week for most people. They showed me their team and straight away I was like, well, you don't need to do it in 17. Like, they already had Semenyo, they already had triple Man City, and the rest of the team looked fairly good. So after saying 7, I was like, actually, for your specific team, 18 might work better. You need to decide which week your team looks worst out of those 2 weeks and just free hit that week. And obviously, think about if I free hit 18, what transfers will I make the week after? How will the team will look? If I free hit 19, what move will I make in 18? How will the team look in 20? You've just got to think about these things. There's no right or wrong about which week is best to use 18 or 19. Depends on your team. By the way, on that Anderson pronunciation question, I've already answered that question like ages ago when you first started asking it. Is it worth the bench boost for Bruggen, Van Dijk, Mukiele, and Bruno G? Probably yes. I'm just going to say yes to all the bench boost questions, I think. Yes, you should bench boost. Yes, you should. Yeah, you should bench boost. You should bench boost too. Because I just can't imagine it's going to be much better in 18 or 19. What games am I watching today? I'm not sure what my plan is today, really. Man City is the 3 p.m. game. I mean, if I'm in for all the games, I guess I'll watch the Newcastle City, Liverpool, and Arsenal game. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch nothing. Maybe I'll save my watch time for tomorrow. Man United versus Villa, where I've got two of the best midfielders in FPL right now. 5 free transfers: Timber, Lacroix, Senesi, Van Dijk, Anderson. Do I change defenders? I mean, those defenders are really good this week, so probably not. Have you not got an attacker you can change instead? Got Szoboszlai and Thiago, both flag, keep or sell. Keep, got Voltemada too and kind of want to get rid. Yeah, selling Voltemada's okay, but who would you buy this week? Play Joachim Anderson, Rodon, or Xhaka Joachim Anderson? Will I still play FPL next season if Bruno goes to Saudi? Yes. Start Vandenberg or Reece James. Vandenberg. Start 2, Calvert-Lewin, Wilson, Thiago, Anderson, Forrest. Calvert-Lewin and Thiago, I think. Still 40 minutes till the deadline. Oof. Won my min league 6 years in a row. Nice. Nice. Big surprise win for Spurs tonight. Hopefully it's a 0-0 draw. So Liverpool don't get 3 points, but I still get the clean sheet. That'd be nice. Or actually, do you know what would be better? Yeah, Spurs win actually would be better in a Van Dijk goal. Let's say a 4-1 win to Spurs, Van Dijk goal. I'd take that. That's actually better than the 0-0 draw. I don't know what I was thinking. Good evening from sunny Adelaide. Been watching England get smashed by Australia all day. Yeah, rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I can't decide between Van Dijk and Vandenberg. I'm going to play Van Dijk over Vandenberg this week, put it that way. Should I play Anderson? Maybe I should. Anderson at home over Vandenberg. The problem is so many people have mentioned Vandenberg to me now. If he does well, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So the clean sheet odds, according to Rob T FPL, is 31% for Fulham and 33% for Brentford. Like it's such a close call, in my opinion. I know people will talk about it as though it's so obvious. You've got to play, but he's away from home. Like Wolves are not gonna. I don't know. Wolves are pretty bad. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I should probably not mess up my mic. Play 2 of Anderson, Van Dijk, Richards. I'd bench Richards. And whoever I bench, would you keep that player first bench or Krupi? I'd probably keep him first bench, yeah. I know it's Wolves. I know it's Wolves. I know. Free hit. Raya, Timber, Calafiori. Nice. Triple Arsenal. Senesi, Foden, Cherky, Semenyo, Tavernier, Haaland, Ekatike. Nice, yeah. Like that. Saka or Bruno for the free slot. The free hit team is good, yeah. Well, you got to go Bruno, right? Do you know what? I quite like the all-in on Arsenal defence, so I'd say Bruno. I like that. Attack is Saka, Foden, Bruno, Minte, Dewsbury Hall, I guess. Haaland, Thiago, same five. I don't know what you do with your team, honestly. Your team's quite nicely set up. I guess you deal with Dewsbury Hall if you've got some money in the bank. And then maybe sell someone if you don't, but all your players are good. I'm not even sure who you would sell this week. You're in that luxury position where you got 5 free transfers and also a really good team. Like, it's kind of annoying because you're not going to know what to do, but it's also nice because you're really well set up for the future. Team of Royce, Jilulu, bench of Dubravka, Krupi, Anderson, Goodmanson, then thinking Rice, Cunha next week. Okay, Rice, Foden, Saka, Ballard, O'Reilly. Rice to Cunha next week, yeah. Quite like that. I would play Anderson over Xhaka, I think, or Anderson over Ballard, but yeah, otherwise looks all right. Keep Mateta 1 more week for Leeds or take him out for Semenyo and get a cheaper striker. Oh, I'd be tempted to get Semenyo, I think. Triple Arsenal defence, Arsenal are not keeping a clean sheet. I mean, yeah, they might not, but they could as well. And also there's attacking potential there. Want to get rid of Eze. No money in the bank. Already have Foden, Fernandez, Semenyo. Any opinions? Szoboszlai, Sharda, Minte probably. Do I think Creeper Jr. starts? My gut feeling is no. I don't think he's going to start that often. Like, it'll probably just be Evan Nielsen. Like, Evan Nielsen's clearly still their first choice forward. On a free hit, Petrovic and Wilson or Kelleher and Tavernier? Petrovic and Wilson, I think. Finished 13k last year. This year I can't get anything right. It's boring doing bad. I fully agree with you. It's so much like I was actually thinking this morning when I was walking the dog. I've got 4 free transfers next week, and I'm in that position where I'm really not sure what I want to do. It would be so much better if I can get a green arrow this week. I just think I'll be much more clear and focused on what I want to do, I think, with a green arrow. If I get a red arrow and it's a bad one, and then I've got to figure out what to do with my transfers, I'm be a bit worried about what I decide to do. Between Van Dijk, Lacroix, and Chow. Yeah, I've already answered that question. Yeah, Chow. Would you play Thiago or Cherky? Probably Cherky, I guess. Should I do King, João Pedro to Wilson, Calvert-Lewin for free? Probably yes. Do I have an advent calendar? Of course. Of course. I actually have a Heroes one. I didn't get the Dairy Milk one. I got the Heroes one instead. But now all I hope for is a Dairy Milk from my Heroes calendar. Say hi, Molly. Hi, Molly. To a dog. Sharda instead of Bruno Guimaraes. Probably yes, but if I had Bruno, I'm not sure I would necessarily be in a rush to sell him. I think he's okay to sell, but yeah, if I was buying new, Sharda, I think. My big worry for next week is I'm going to buy players who are actually like I'm not going to buy Semenyo next week. Like I could still go in for Sharda, but it'd be annoying to buy him after Wolves. But I really do think rolling is the right call for my team. Triple Captain Wilson, go for it. I go for it. Please do it. Is anyone like an Eclair in the Heroes? Yeah. Although they would be like one of the last choices. Bruno Guimaraes to Semenyo, 1 week punt. Yeah, Semenyo's a great 1 week punt. And if he doesn't get yellow carded, he's fine for 18 as well. I would not do Senesi to O'Reilly. I've still got a free hit to use. What week is best to use it? Whatever week you want. Honestly, there's no best week. I really want to keep reiterating that. The better question is, which week does my team need it the most out of the next 3? You'll have to work that out yourself. Feels like you're talking about Sharda all the time, but you're never going to buy it. I mean, who would I sell? He's an option. That's it. He's an option to buy. There's like O'Reilly's a really good option. I'm not going to buy him either. I can only have 15 players. Should I upgrade King to Wilson for 1 transfer? That will mean I have 8 attackers and 3 Fulham players and bench Anderson and Anderson or roll. I would just roll. How am I? I'm doing good. Team is Vandenberg, Richards, Mukiele, O'Reilly, Rice, and Raul Jimenez. Playing bench boost. Do I keep Thiago? Yes. And general advice appreciated. Keep going. The team looks pretty good. Just roll. Roll and bench boost. Seems good to me. Don't worry about it next week. I mean, if Mukiele's not amazing, but he's fine. He's DEFCONs away to Brighton for a bench boost. It's okay. Start one of Krupi, Kukure, and Mukiele Minte. Come on. Quality Street or Roses? If I'm honest, I can't really remember the difference. I feel like they're both the same. Pretty much. Which has got the golden barrel? I feel like that one's the better one, but maybe they've both got that. 1 player to start. Reece James, Chow, or Rodon. Ooh. Chow. Enjoy the holidays too. Saka, Van Dijk, Voltemada to Bruno, O'Reilly, Ekatike, 3 free transfers. Or 2, Voltemada, Van Dijk, Dewsbury Hall to Ekatike, O'Reilly, 4.3 mid. So you're in a position where you could make those 3 transfers. You could also just roll. I'd be tempted to roll it, I think. I do prefer Bruno, O'Reilly, Ekatike for this week, but not by enough to use 3 transfers, I don't think. 4 months member, Anch. Start one of Anderson, Van Heck, or Mukiele. Ooh, Merry Christmas to you too. Van Heck, I think, and then Anderson, then Mukiele. Favorite Christmas song? I can't pick a favorite. There's too many good ones. There's too many good ones. If you could buy any player for Man United in January, who would you pick? A midfielder. I don't know who. I don't know who's realistic, but a midfielder to play alongside Bruno that's not Casemiro, probably. So Casemiro doesn't have to play all the time. Who is on Bournemouth penalties when Kluivert's on the pitch? The answer is we don't know. My gut feeling is it'll probably just be Kluivert, though. Like, we could be in a situation where if Kluivert, Tavernier, and Semenyo are all on the pitch, Semenyo is actually third choice. Bruno for Saka. I think it's okay if you need the money, but I wouldn't be in a rush to make the move. Bench Bruno Fernandes or Raul Jimenez. Come on. Come on. I mean, Raul Jimenez is good, but come on. Kieran, 38 months. Thank you. Same to you. Yeah, Semenyo. The thing is, I like Semenyo, but Man United, why would they buy Semenyo? Like, to play as a wing-back? Like, there's no harm in having depth, right? There's no harm in having more good players in your squad, but they've got to play somewhere. It just doesn't make sense for Man United, like, to prioritise Semenyo over other options. It really doesn't, unless he's going to go and play a back four. But even then, it doesn't really make too much sense. Well, you play Semenyo on the left and Burma on the right. Where does Cunha play? Now, again, you need depth, right? And maybe they're thinking for the future, but it's just the whole. It's just buying in Burma and Cunha doesn't. I don't know how much sense that made necessarily. Although Mbeumo is good and I like Cunha too. I don't know. Just buy a midfielder, please. Semenyo is the same concept as what Ahmad's doing on the right. I know, but it feels wrong to buy Semenyo and use him as a wing back. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just an idiot. I've got Dan Burn on my bench. Should I transfer him this week or next week before my bench boost? If you're not sure, don't worry about doing it this week. If you think most of your team will play, just leave him on the bench. Bench boost options for next week. If you want to go cheap, Sunderland defender against Leeds at home. So Mukiele or Adarete. Otherwise, Keane, maybe against Burnley away. Could be an option next week. Bench one from Minte, Raul Jimenez, Thiago. Ooh, one. Oh, bench one. Sorry. I thought it was like start one. Raul Jimenez, I think. Have I considered Foden captain at all? No. I mean, sure, if you want to go against Haaland, that's absolutely fine, but Haaland probably the best. Cunha could still play 10 and a 4-5-1. So Semenyo, Bruno, Cunha, a defensive midfielder in Burma. Yeah, I guess so. Or Cunha could play up front in a 4-5-1. Give up. Get out of it. That's an obvious troll. I'm not answering that question about Estevan Rodon. I have a funny stat regarding Frank versus Liverpool. Is this going to be funny though? Liverpool have kept a clean sheet in 5 out of 8 games. Obviously, Frank was managing Brentford. Makes me a bit worried about benching Van Dijk. Yeah, I wouldn't be that worried about benching Van Dijk, but I do quite like him this week. It's a shame the game's not at home though. Saka, Rice, Rogers, Cunha, Bruno, G, 3 free transfers. Nice. What's the plan? I'm guessing it's probably to roll. Maybe to get Semenyo for a 1-week punt. Like if you could do Bruno G to Semenyo, might work. Rogers got Man United at home. It's probably quite good this week. Dango to Pino. Oh my god. Pino. I'm guessing that's Pino. Oh, okay. Dango to Pino or Roll or Estev first bench for Thiago. Pino's okay. I'm not sure that's where I'd want to go though. Probably Roll, if that's an option. Ray to Sanchez to fund in Jai to Cunha. It feels wrong to do that Ray to Sanchez move now, if I'm honest. So probably not. But if you've got no other way, like, can you just get someone cheaper for Njai? 1 free hit or 1 free transfer, Rice to Shada or Roll? Probably Roll. Why does everyone want to sell Rice all of a sudden? Rice, like, it wasn't that long ago that people were saying Rice is Arsenal's best attacker for FPL. There seems to be a lot of questions about selling him now. 5 free transfers, wildcard 19. Oh my god. Vandenberg, Minte to Nor, Wilson, and bench who or roll 5 free transfers. Oh my god. I don't know. Selling Vandenberg and Minte, I wouldn't sell Minte to Wilson. Can you not do... Oh, you can't do Richards. I generally don't know what to do with your team. I mean, in Cappy to O'Reilly, if you want O'Reilly that much, just use 1 transfer, then reverse it next week or do something else next week as a 1-week punt. Yeah, I don't think Wilson's better than Minte this week, really. I mean, Wilson and O'Reilly's probably better, but you have to use 2 moves for that. I'd be tempted to sell Nkapie to O'Reilly or just move Richards to a different 4.5. But even then, I'm not sure there's many better ones than what you've got. Like Richards to Van Heck, maybe. Something like that. Start 2 of Richards, Anderson, Van Dijk, or Enzo. Enzo and Van Dijk, probably. Opinion on Mainu. Honestly, I think he's actually a little bit overrated. I think he is good, but his stock's going up because he keeps getting benched. But I mean, Bruno shouldn't take in Burmo's spot. How worried are you this week without Semenyo? I mean, it's not great, but what can I do, really? Start 2, Van Heck, Thiago, Bowen, Chalobah. Thiago and Bowen, probably. I would be tempted. Do you know what? I'm going to say Thiago and Van Heck. It feels wrong benching Bowen, but I think I would. Is it too early to bring Palmer in? Probably yes. Just because of the minutes. Any Palace leaks? Yeah, in the ticker. Minte and Van Heck to Truefair and Tavernier or roll. I definitely roll that. Like, they've got Sunderland at home. Van Heck or Gay, Van Heck, bench boost to Bravka, Thiago, Guiu, Alderete. I don't like bench boost with Guiu, but if you're never going to sell Guiu, then sure. Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Lulu will bench boost next week. 3 free transfers. Am I missing an obvious buy? What, this week? I mean, no, your team looks really good. Like, really nice. So probably not. I mean, you could do, if you got the money, you could do like Rice to Semenyo 1 week if you wanted to, but I think it's okay. Bench 2, Calafiori, Van Heck, Vandenberg, Senesi, O'Reilly. I mean, you've got to play O'Reilly. I think you've got to play Senesi, O'Reilly, and Calafiori. I think you have to. So you bench the other 2, but that's horrible. Maybe I should play 4-5-1 and bench Thiago. I wouldn't bench Thiago, no. Which 2 to start? Wilson, Minte, Ekatike. I'd bench Wilson of those. Subscribed, enjoying the content these past few weeks. Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoy it for the rest of the season. Do hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit 500k. Less than 17k to go. Now let me just double check. Yeah, less than 17k to go. Not going to happen before the end of the season, I don't think, but next season, looking good. Triple captain Harden. Yes, I would triple captain Harden if you still got the chip left. Benches Stev or Bruno. Get out. I'm going to start muting people. I'm going to mute you. Members or not, you're gone. Start the Burnley defender or the Leeds defender. Leeds. Yeah, Leeds. Am I doing predictions this stream? For what? Triple captain Harden today or Bruno against Wolves? Harden today, I think. Anderson or Bowen. This week, Anderson. Man, you got a lot of Man United questions. I'm going to skip the Man United questions now and stick to the FPL ones. Keep Szoboszlai. Yes. Will you captain Cunha against any of Wolves, Leeds, or Burnley? No, because Bruno Fernandes. Good alternative to Dewsbury Hall if you own Wilson. Like, if you have to stick at his price or below, then Enzo Lefebvre. If you've got a bit of money to spend, Tavernier maybe. When's your play? Yeah, do you know what? I'm surprised more. Like, maybe people don't realise, right? But here's a piece of information you won't find anywhere else. No one else is talking about this. I hope you're sitting down. If you're not sure what to do with your transfers, I've got someone for you that nobody is talking about for some reason. And I'm pleased to announce Caicedo is not suspended anymore. Caicedo is not suspended anymore. Maybe you buy him. I mean, he was a massive bandwagon before the suspension. I'm sure he will keep scoring from like basically every shot he has. Maybe go Caicedo. Best nightclub in Galway? I don't know, to be honest. I'm too old for that. Can you tell how many inactive subscribers you got? No, but obviously quite a few. But I don't care. I still want to hit 500k. Yeah, everyone going. I would sell Harry Wilson and buy Caicedo. I think that would be my. Yeah. I just saw something quite funny. I can't say what it was, unfortunately, but it was quite funny. One to start off, Stack, Voltamada, or Chow. Voltamada, I think. Caicedo will score now. Yeah, you are right. This happened last time. So, do you remember earlier on in the season? It was against West Ham, game week 2. Game week 2. I got so many questions game week 2 about Caicedo. I couldn't work out why, and freaking went and scored like straight away. He will score now as well. Maybe I should go and put a bet on that. Why so much Semenyo love? Burnley at home. Have I thought about doing some FPL videos whilst out and about? I mean, yeah, but would that add anything over what I already do? Mateta to Ekatike or Anderson to Cherky? Anderson to Cherky, I think. Still have triple captain and bench means my bench looks the best this week out of the next 3 weeks, but I would prefer triple captain Harden. Then you should triple captain Harden. Like, as long as your bench isn't terrible the next 2 weeks, triple captain Harden. Barnes or Calafiori? Calafiori, because Barnes is not guaranteed to start, right? Like, presumably, I mean, it could be Gordon left and Barnes right, I suppose. But it also might just be Barnes on the bench, right? You'd probably get a bit of abuse if you did an FPL video while walking around Galway. I mean, probably not, but just like, what does it add, I suppose? What happened to my other channel? It's still there. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about. I'm just rubbish. Maybe I should do short form content instead. But I don't know what about. Bench one of Richards, Van Dijk, Anderson. Richards, I think. How long have I lived in Ireland? I have lived in Ireland so long that yesterday I put an Enya Christmas song on my Christmas playlist. That's how long I've lived in Ireland for. Bring Minte in for Eze. Yeah, I quite like that. Quite like that. Just remember, Minte does have Arsenal away next week, so can you bench him if you need to? Is bench boost still valid with the doubts surrounding Thiago? Yes, in my opinion. Best City defender for free hit, O'Reilly. Yeah, Minte has trained as far as we know. Best Eze replacement, Bruno Fernandes, probably. Depends how much money you got. How many questions do you get each week about living in Ireland? Not that many. A few. Would you do Chow to O'Reilly this week with a plan to buy him back in 19? Chow to O'Reilly is quite nice, yeah. You can probably just keep O'Reilly. I don't even know if you necessarily need to go back. On free hit, Cherky, Sharda, Incapié, Van Dijk, or Saka, Tavernier, O'Reilly, Collins. Oh, good question. I'm tempted to say the second one because of O'Reilly and Tavernier, but I think with all 4 players included, I think the first one's better. I think. Then again, Van Dijk on a free hit. No, I'm going to say Saka, Tavernier, O'Reilly, Collins, I think. You could go either way, though, honestly. If you've got a gut feeling one way or another, just take it. They're both really close. Should I start Van Dijk or Kudus? I'm going to say Van Dijk. Saka and De Kuyper to Palmer and Alderete, then triple captain Palmer. No. Like, Palmer is just not guaranteed the minutes. That's the problem. What is the best week for free hits? 17, 18, 19, they can all work. Depends on your team, honestly. I've got 2 free transfers to start. Elliot Anderson or transfer him out. I would have 6.4. Could bring in Minte or Wilson. Edging towards rolling. I'd probably roll, yeah. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Play one of Dallow or Anderson. Fulham. Anderson. Dallow away this week. Not great. Low rank needs a boost. Talk me out of Captain Semenyo. I mean, if you want to captain him, go for it. But just keep in mind, it's a myth that you have to go differential to climb the ranks. Start Tavernier or Cherky. Oh, if you've got both, you've got to start both. You've got to find a way to play them both. There's no either or there. If I had to choose, I'd probably... I don't know which is better. Because Cherky could get subbed earlier. I'm going to say Cherky, but I mean, I'd play both. If you were bench boosting, when would you now? Whichever week my bench looks the best out of the next 3 weeks. Like I've used my bench boost, so I've not even thought about it for a long time. Yeah, I don't know. One of the next 3 weeks, I'd bench boost. I can't answer any different than that. Because if I had bench boost left, I would have played the last few weeks differently, you know. And I would be having to sell Dewsbury Hall and Guiu. So, I mean, next week maybe. I mean, honestly, probably next week, and I would get Enzo Lefebvre for Dewsbury Hall, but I'm not bench boosting, so I've not thought about it. Rodon or Lewis Potter. Is Lewis Potter like a guaranteed starter? I don't know if he's been starting the last few weeks. I guess he would have to play in the front 3. 60 minutes last week. Okay, if you've got them both, I'd play Lewis Potter, but I wouldn't buy him. Anderson over Vandenberg, surely. Yeah, I think they're both good. I don't know. This is how I've been set up all week, is like this. That's how I was set up all week. Do you have a Discord? I do for YouTube members at the top 2 tiers. Would you bench Welbeck or Rodon? Rodon, but there is a good chance Welbeck just doesn't start. Will Pope start? Probably not. Anderson, Richards. Which 2 to start? Anderson. No, I'd play Szoboszlai over Richards, I think. Timber to O'Reilly or deal with the Thiago flag. I have 5 free transfers and not much else to do with them. Timber to O'Reilly, I guess, but I really don't like it. Best Njai replacement. Have Bruno, Semenyo, can't afford Foden. I mean, I don't mind. I quite like Cunha next 5 weeks if you can afford him. Otherwise, Minte maybe if you can bench him next week. Szoboszlai and Sharda are probably worth looking at too. What are differentials on free hit this week? Tavernier, Cherky, any Man City defender that's not O'Reilly, Evan Nielsen, Šeško full 90. I wouldn't be counting on a full 90, no. I wouldn't buy Šeško. There's too many doubts over his minutes, unfortunately. And also, I don't think he's cheap enough to take the punt. What about Crystal Palace defenders, Richards, Gay? What about them, sorry? I don't know what you mean, what about them? Like to buy, to sell, to bench, to play? On free hit, would you go Thiago and Bruno or Ekitike and Thiago and Bruno? Although, I mean, I think Thiago will start. I don't know if I would take the risk on free hit, but between those 2 options, I go Thiago and Bruno. Thinking about getting Semenyo, but would mean I need to bench a defender. My defense is currently Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Van Hex, and Essie. I mean, you'd probably bench Van Dijk. I'd be tempted just to not get Semenyo and hope for the best. I think Lewis Hall will probably play. I think he was just resting midweek. Bench one, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, or Calvert-Lewin. Van Dijk, probably. Steven, maybe I did. Best anger replacement, same team as yours, bar Saka. Wilson, probably. Unless you got money in the bank, then Minte, maybe. Steven. Oh my God, if I missed that. Oh, wow, ages ago. 7.7 million to spend on a midfield spot and looking to bench boost. Who would you bring in other than Semenyo or Wilson? Cherky depends how long term you want this player, right? Cherky this week is quite nice, so is Tavernier, but they're not necessarily long term picks. Saboslight feels wrong to buy him if you're bench boosting, so otherwise Sharda. I think Sharda's quite a long term pick, or can be. Calvert-Lewin or Thiago to start. Thiago. My front eight is bench one of Minte, Rice, Thiago. Rice, probably. Who'd you replace Thiago with? Ekatike, I suppose, if you had to. Start Anderson versus Forest or Voltemada. Saw on Facebook Brentford stayed in Manchester to train. Does that mean Thiago is back? Unlikely. No official news confirms his return. I suspect Thiago is probably fine. I don't know any more than that. Bench one, I've got Alisson in goal. Van Dijk, Nathan Collins or Thiago. Collins, reluctantly. Bench one, Minte, Cunha or Thiago. Oof. I mean, because he's flagged, probably Thiago. Bench Anderson or Enzo. Anderson. Reece James, João Pedro for Van Heck and Mateta or O'Reilly and Evan Nielsen, or just keep them roll. I'd be tempted to sell them. I mean, Bowen, probably, for long term. I mean, I would even just do Reece James to Van Heck, keep João Pedro, and just get Bowen next week, maybe. Start Anderson or Anderson. Anderson from Fulham. 5 free transfers. Do I move to an Everton defender early to not lose a transfer, or maybe something ambitious? 2 free transfer move for Ekatike Bowen. 2 free transfers to get Bowen before Man City just feels rubbish. I would just get an Everton defender. Bench order Keane before Rodon. No, I'd play Rodon over Keane, I think, this week. Not for many weeks after this, though. Do I play Anderson or Vandenberg? My gut feeling is I play Anderson. Well, I might just play Anderson. But then Vandenberg's playing Wolves, but it is away. Let me do a quick poll. Anderson versus home. Vandenberg. Not that I'm going to listen to the poll. I'm just going to do whatever I want. But, you know. Bench Richards or Anderson? Richards. Only back watching recently as I stopped playing FPL for a year or two. You look great. Thank you. I hope you do too. Rice or Anderson this week? Rice, I think. I have Welbeck. Should I bench boost? Bench not good in 18 or 19. Oh, bench is Keane, Elliot Anderson, and Weaver. Does that not look better in 19? No. Keane's away, I guess. Could you not sell Welbeck to like Calvert-Lewin and then just bench boost? I'm not benching Van Dijk. That's not an option for me. Play 2 of Raul Jimenez, Wilson, Thiago. I'd bench Wilson, I think. Bench 1, Anderson, Fulham, Chalobah, Richards, Chalobah. The poll won't help much. I mean, it's closer than the amount of comments I've had about it this week. That's for sure. Maybe I should let the random name generator help me. Anderson. Oh. Vandenberg. Yeah, maybe I should let this. Hang on a sec. Let me. Oh, where's my. Oh, did I delete it? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, don't worry. We got some great production value coming up. Here. Oh, hang on a sec. So good that I can't find the thing I need. Okay, let me just go studio mode, window capture. That looks good. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. Anderson or Vandenberg? I honestly feel like it's this close. Okay, I'm going Anderson. That was my gut feeling anyway. The wheel has confirmed it. Anderson's in. Vandenberg's getting benched. Job done. There we go. Oh, God. When Elliot Anderson scores a goal, it's going to kill me. Oh, it's Monday night as well. Is that better or worse? I mean, that depends what happens with Vandenberg. I'm not watching that game Monday night. I'm not watching Fulham versus Forest. When does Vandenberg play? He plays at 3 o'clock. Oh, Vandenberg goal. Oh, God, I can picture it now. I kind of want to get the pain over early. Maybe I should have played Vandenberg. Don't bother with a vote. I mean, I did tell you I wasn't going to listen to the vote. Either way, just a bit of fun. Like, relax, chill out. Jesus, Saturday morning. Bench one of Richards, Van Dijk, and Capier or O'Reilly. Richards, I think. Bench booster Bravka, Minte, Van. Yes, but are Minte and Van Heck really on your bench? Really? Sunderland at home? Bench two of Bowen, Anderson, Lacroix, Rice, Saboslai. Oof. I think I would play Lacroix ahead of Anderson, you know. No, would I? No, I probably wouldn't. That's horrible. I guess I would bench the two defenders. Timber to O'Reilly, game week 17 for Thiago to Ekatike 18. No, I'd probably just keep Timber. You might not want to buy Ekatike next week for one reason or another. Bench one Anderson. Oh, I did that one. Enzo or Anderson, Forest. Enzo. Yeah, Enzo. So the poll has Vandenberg 52%. It just shows how close it is, right? Isn't that what Brexit failed on? 2%? Or a 4% swing? Was it 52-48? Or was it 51-49? Can't remember. Anyway, probably shouldn't bring up Brexit. Why haven't you considered any Crystal Palace defenders against Leeds? Why? I'm literally benching Vandenberg. What do I need a Crystal Palace defender for? In draft, bench one, Wirtz, Cliver, Isak, Odegaard. I mean, Isak's arguably the least likely to start, but I'd probably bench Wirtz. The clock's not wrong. Why aren't people speaking about Mateus Nunes? I think he's just more expensive than O'Reilly, right? And he's not as attacking. Bench one, Minte, Wilson, Thiago, Watkins. Ooh, Wilson probably. Bench booster Bravka, Thiago, Van Dijk, and Estev. Yes, why not? Why not? Ryan, did I miss it? Did I? If I did, I apologize. So, got 5 free transfers. Potentially getting Bowen game week 18. Worth doing Senesi, Van Dijk, or Incapio to O'Reilly, or Saka to Semenyo, or let the transfer burn. Oh my god. The thing is, I would do Incapio to Riley, I think, because he's the one most likely to be a problem soon. Yeah, only because you got 5 transfers. Bench Stewart, Chalobah, Welbeck, Lacroix. I'm going to say Welbeck and Chalobah because Welbeck could get benched. Am I going to keep Anderson in? I don't know. I could just play Vandenberg. I'm going to play Anderson. That was my gut feeling at the start of the week. I only really put Vandenberg in because so many people have mentioned it. Like, people were shocked. Honestly, the comments on my team selection video, they were shocked that I wasn't playing. Like, I got so many of the, what's the point in owning Vandenberg if you're not going to play him? I don't know, because it's good to have a good squad. Why not? Gay, Klein, Anderson, Chow, Mukiele, pick 3. Gay, Klein, Anderson, I think. Go on, Klein. If you got, like, I can't believe I'm saying this after what I just said, but I'd be, if I had Klein, I'd be super tempted to just play him. Like, massive differential. Start Anderson or replace with Keane and start Anderson. Oh, just start Anderson. Why would you buy Keane for Arsenal? Anderson's without Bassi. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Honestly, the clean sheet odds are so close between the two. I'm just going to play the guy at home. Bench order, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Gay, Timber can play 2. Szoboszlai and Timber, and I would play Van Dijk over Gay, I think. Vice captain. I've gone for Foden. If Haaland doesn't play, does that make Foden worse? Maybe. Maybe it should just be Bruno, but Haaland's going to play. It's all good. It's all good. Start Wilson or Anderson? Wilson, probably. God, I would love Wilson to fail this week. Just please don't get any points. That vote is so tight. Love decisions like that can be such a swing in your week. Yeah, but it sucks when it goes badly wrong. Because like if I play Anderson and Vandenberg smashes him, all the comments will just be, "Can't believe you ever played Anderson. Vandenberg's playable, blah blah blah." Whereas realistically, without the hindsight, it is just a super close decision that I probably shouldn't stress over too much. Start 2, Raul Jimenez, Anderson from Fulham or Richards. I'd bench Richards out of those. Why don't you just buy Wilson? He has such good fixtures. Does he, though? I think he's got 2 good fixtures, and then that's it for, like, in the next 5 weeks. And also, who would who would I sell? I've got no money, so I'd have to sell Foden, Saka, Fernandes, or Cunha. When will the chips expire? You have to have all your first half of the season chips used before the first half of the season finishes, which is game week 19. So game week 20, we will all get a new set of chips, and I'll get to alter my team selection graphics. Imagine the knee-jerk stream if Vandenberg does well. It is what it is. Like, I'm gonna try and not stress too much over Anderson or Vandenberg. There you go. Anyway, the poll says Vandenberg. The random name generator says Anderson. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm going with the random name generator. Last time I did that, I got Collins over Vandenberg. Actually, I'm pretty sure last time it was a Vandenberg one as well. It was Vandenberg or Collins on free hit, and I went Collins. So either way, you can't win. Yeah, it's like there's always going to be someone that thinks you should do the opposite every time. Every time. So I try not to worry about it too much. It was just very noticeable this week, the amount of comments about Vandenberg. Anyway, 10 seconds. 10 seconds to the deadline. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Is Saka Vice safer? Yes, because if the Man City game gets called off, I'm done. But too late now. I'm locked in. Thank you very much for joining me. We are locked in. I've got 4 free transfers now. I'm happy about that. I've got to be honest. Like, using 3 last week, I wasn't particularly happy with it. I haven't drank much this morning. What if West Ham beat City with a clean sheet? I'd take it. If you offer me that right now, I'd probably take it because Foden's ownership's so high, it just doesn't matter anymore. And Haaland's effective ownership will probably be over 200%. It'd be quite funny, by the way, if Thiago does miss out. I'll be on 5-4-1. I'd actually quite like that. 5-4-1 this week wouldn't be that bad. Thiago start today, please. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will, unless he doesn't. Triple captain Haaland, good luck. I hope it fails. How do you get an effective ownership of over 200%? Like, how does that work? Ownership plus captaincy plus triple captaincy. So if everyone owned Haaland, that's 100% ownership. If every one of those owners captains him, that's 200% effective ownership. If every one of those owners captains and triple captains, that's 300%. Basically. Do I ever dream about FPL? Probably. Man United to get smashed at Villa tomorrow probably won't happen. I mean, Villa will definitely score and probably win, but I don't think Man United get smashed. Cunha hat-trick, so Villa will have to score 4 goals. Vandenberg header, clean sheet, and DEFCON, maybe an assist. Yeah, probably. That does seem the most likely thing that's going to happen, yeah, is a Vandenberg header, clean sheet, and DEFCON and an assist. 4 defenders is never good. I don't know. I think it's been fine for me quite a few times. I've played 4 at the back quite a bit. I can't go back and check how many times I've done that, but yeah, I've done it quite a bit. Okay, I am done. Enjoy your weekend. I will be back tomorrow, unfortunately, with a knee-jerk stream after the Man United game. I don't know. This could be a bad week for me. Like, Cunha's good, but he's not as good this week. I don't have Semenyo. I'm playing 4 at the back, which is fine, but there's a lot of people with good 3-5-2s. I've played Anderson. Could be a nightmare. But at least all my players, apart from Anderson, would have played by the knee-jerk stream. Am I watching Love Actually tonight? Nope. Will I be watching AFCON? Maybe. The odd game if it's on and I'm in. Any soft spot for any competing team? Nope, not really. No skin in the game. Ekatike is too expensive. Yeah, I don't see me buy. Like, if Thiago's a problem next week, I'm pretty sure I will get Bowen instead. But I don't know how I'm going to fund that yet. We'll see. We'll see next week. Right, I'm going to shoot off. Enjoy the final weekend before Christmas. I will be back around 6:30 tomorrow for a knee-jerk stream once the Villa and Man United game has finished. And yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to say. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will I will catch you again tomorrow.